What's up, you guys? It's your girl Tasia, and I'm back with another video. So today, it's kind of like a mukbang a little bit because I'm gonna talk to y'all while I'm eating. I always love to eat, but but yeah, it's not that much food, so I'm not even gonna show y'all because my man, he got me some Uber Eats yesterday, so this is what's left over. But so yeah, it's not that much. It's just some mozzarella sticks. It's not real mac and cheese. I ain't even really trying to show y'all. It's like our KFC mac and cheese be looking. It's like that. So I'm not gonna show y'all. And then it's a little bit of my chicken cheesesteak that I love from yesterday. But yeah, you guys, I wanted to come to y'all today because this topic has really been on my mind. But I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about manifestation and manifesting like the life you want. Because I'm a firm believer in manifestation. I believe it's real. I'm living out a lot of my past manifestations, so I believe in manifestations completely. So I already told y'all in another video like my story and where I've come from with my family and things like that. So it did not look like I was going to be able to move out. You know what I mean? It's like I just got out of school, had a lot of, well, I still do, but it's like student loan debt. It's like looking for a job. It's like I'm straight out of school. A lot of positions, like especially in the science field that I was working in, a lot of positions are contract. So with contract, I was making good money, but there's no healthcare benefits. It's not like a lot of that stuff wasn't covered. So it's kind of good to be getting the money, but if you're not getting like the benefits and other stuff you need, it's not really helpful. But while I was there and working at my previous job, and this is something I think other people can probably relate to, if you're like trying to figure out what your purpose is in life and what you're supposed to be doing. When I was working there, I just felt like I'm not supposed to be here. Like, I just really felt it, and I feel like every day it became harder and harder to go to work. And I couldn't get myself out of it. It's like, what is wrong with me? Like, I make pretty good money. It's not crazy work because the job I was at, I was dealing with COVID samples and blood. And since COVID, it's still active. We're still currently in a pandemic, but not as many people are getting tested anymore. So people are, because I would still get a lot, but compared to when I first started working there, it was like the prime time pandemic. So it was so much more people even working there and so many more samples that we were receiving. So I got to a point where it's like, okay, this is easy work. It's not a lot of work, but it's just, I don't think this is it. I'm not supposed to get up every single day and just be in a lab. Like, I feel like I have a bigger purpose and a bigger calling in my life. And when I was younger, I always wanted to kind of figure that out. What am I supposed to do? What is my calling? And I really never got the chance to like figure those things out because like my life and things like work-wise was already planned for me. Like, I was already told, like, you're going to school, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. So there wasn't a lot of time for me to think about things, right? But during that time in my household, what I can say is that really kept me, because I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my other videos. I don't really know, but I'm a firm believer in God. I'm a really big Christian. I don't play about God because I know God don't play about me. But I just know that was the first thing I needed for myself was God. Because if I didn't have God in my life during my years of growing up, I'm not gonna lie, it would have been much harder. I don't think I would have been where I am mentally. It was just a lot in my household. But the fact that I just was raised in a church, so I just had my own relationship with God, my own personal relationship. So throughout my life, I just always felt like I was very connected with God. Like, I'm a very I've heard this with people that are really empathetic. They can really like feel things and they feel really connected. I'm a super empathetic person. Like I feel emotions deeply. Even when I'm around people, I just feel and take on a lot of people's emotions. Like I'm like a sponge. So that's why I like to stay to myself or around good energy if I can, because I really feel like I absorb it and I can feel everything. But growing up, I just would always communicate with God, and I would make sure to have him as my focus through it all. Because if I paid attention to, excuse me, my household and the things that was going on, I would have lost it. But God really had his hand on me, and I just always put him at the center. I was always praying. And this is something I never mentioned, but when I was seventh grade, I was taken out of my public school, because most schools I've only been at for a year or two. My parents moved me around the schools a lot. But in the seventh grade, my mom had said like, and these are things now that I'm older, I can understand things and know that I wasn't the problem. And it's just people are flawed and they're hurt and they pass on their hurt to other people or they project that hurt. So I don't take it personally now. But when I was younger, it was like told to me like, oh, you're going to a Christian school because you have an attitude problem or something's wrong with you. You're just hard to deal with. You're negative. You're this. Just like, because that's what my family would do to me a lot. They would speak a lot of negativity over me. And at the time, I felt really bad when I went to my school because I'm like, dang, I'm such a like, I feel like I try to be a really good person because when I was younger, and even just until recently when I've been in therapy, I'm changing that. But I was such a people pleaser because it's like when you're constantly being told like you're not a nice person or you're not a good person, you're like, okay, let me bend over backwards to really prove that I am. And now that I'm older, I see that that's not the case. I don't need to prove that to anybody. I know who I am deep down. And that's all that matters. But I didn't realize at the time, like God had a bigger purpose for me. In the seventh grade, I'm thinking I'm going to a Christian school to be punished. Like, oh, I'm such a troublemaker. I'm a bad person. That's why I have to go here. That school really formed, I feel like, the real base and foundation of my relationship with God. And that was the first time like I really got saved and I really gave myself to Christ. And because I was, you have I would have what you call them, like Bible classes or whatever in school. It would be like regular curriculum, just like your regular stuff like science and math. So while having to be forced to memorize scriptures or study certain things in the Bible, it forced me to really grow a connection to God. And at the time, I didn't see it that way, but God was orchestrating something the whole time that I needed that. Because if I didn't form that, I don't know where I would have been. You know what I mean? So, and even throughout my life, I feel like random people, I'm not even making this up, random people would just come up to me and just tell me things, like things that I would like pray about. Like, I'm not going to get into it, but things that I would pray about. And then I would just run, like somebody would just stop me and just tell me. And it's like, what? Like, that's crazy to me. But, and that's another thing. That's why I didn't really like going to, like anybody that's raised in the church, you have multiple services or whatever. So I remember I used to hate going to like second services growing up because I would always feel called out. Whenever there was a visiting minister, I would try to even sit at the back sometimes because I was so paranoid about it. But no matter what, they would just point me out and just call me up to the front and just give me a message. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can't get past this. And it was even when I would go to even other churches. I remember one day in particular, my dad asked me if I wanted to go to service with him. I said, you okay, sure. Once again, minding my business in the back of the church. Everybody, having a little praise break moment. They shout and whatever. I'm just still in the back, like, just clapping my hands. I microwave these too long. But, just in the back, clapping my hands, just staying out the way. And it happened again. This woman come over to me, give me a message and tell me something. And I'm like, it would be overwhelming growing up. I'm not gonna lie. And that's why I would really try to sit in the back of the church, because I would always feel like somebody had a message from God for me. But now that I'm older, it's like things come together and make sense. But all that to say is that my foundation with God was formed very early throughout all of that I've been through in my life. And even when I got older, I feel like the same type of energy that was in my family was the same type of like energy with men I was attracting. I attracted all the wrong kind of men. I feel like dudes that was just not, they were just not meant for me at all. We was on different vibrations, different levels. And I would put up with a lot of stuff because once again, I was taught, you know, you're not a nice person, you're not a good person. So it's like I would bend over backwards for these men, thinking that if I'm nice or if I do this, okay, like that's what I'm supposed to do, even though they treat me like whatever. Then there was really a moment in my life when I had to cut everybody off. Like, I feel like friends, family, it was like God was forcing me to leave them alone. Because I have a hard time of letting people go. I love people and I like to keep them. And it's like, I'd rather be by myself in peace than hold people just so I can say I have somebody. But at that specific time in my life, I just felt like I had friends or people in my life who were being intentionally mean. Like actually saying things to make me feel bad, reminding me that I didn't have other friends, or reminding me they were like my only friend. And then that would make me put up with a lot. And then I got to a point where I'm like, no, this isn't right. Like, because it like clearly God was really trying to make me wake up to some things. Because I feel like it started escalating. Like before in the past, these certain people, little small things. But then it got to a point where it was like blatant disrespect. And it's like, oh my gosh. So I had to cut those people off. And I was at a point in my life where I just really had to pray to God and question God's purpose in my life and what he had going on. And I'm like, God, I done had to cut off this friend, this person, that person. Like, what is happening? And even with relationships, I just feel like I always wanted to be loved. I always wanted somebody to really love me. But I attracted people who only wanted me to pour into them, but they couldn't pour back into me. So I felt drained. And I got to a point where I'm like, okay, this isn't right. I had to cut off people, move forward with my life. And then, as I continue to meditate more and pray to God more and hear him more, I started manifesting the things I would want in my life. I started thinking and being conscious and intentional about the people I wanted in my life. And even when it came to relationships, I asked myself, okay, clearly I know what I don't want. What am I looking for? What do I need? And I had to really sit down, pray to God, and think about it. And when I thought about the man that I wanted, I was intentional. I wrote it down. I told God, I prayed to God, and I manifested. And I was like, I will wait in the meantime for when I will get these things. Excuse me. And I just continue manifesting and waiting. And my current boyfriend, because I've known my current boyfriend since I was 20, but yeah, and then when I think about the man that I prayed for, like somebody who pours into me, somebody that encourages me, somebody that is sent by God, and you can just tell, and just to live in it now, I'm like, wow, I manifested that so long ago. So to be living out this manifestation, I just thank God every day for it. And even when it came to work, I knew I wasn't happy. I knew this wasn't my purpose. I knew that this was not what God told me to do. And I had to really sit and think and let go of the things that no longer were serving me. I don't need placeholders or people in my life that are just holding up space. Because in reality, it's holding up the space for the people that God would really want in my life and had called to be in my life. So to be at that place to cut off the friends that wasn't supposed to be there. And even when it comes to work, like I said, knowing that I wasn't supposed to be there and being where I am now and living out my destiny. And even with this singing, y'all, like opinions, like I said, I really don't care about opinions no more. I've gone through it and heard it enough in my household where I feel like I'm kind of at a point where nobody's opinion matters but mine and God's. That's all I really care about. As long as God is happy with the work that I'm doing, that's all that matters to me. And right now, I'm like a kid rebelling. I'm living out the things I want to do. I constantly affirm over myself the things that was told to me otherwise. Everything that they told me I wasn't, I started speaking over myself and affirming to myself that I am those things. You're not going to tell me what I'm not. I'm a child of God, so I can affirm myself. No one has power. And when I realized that, I'm like, these people don't have control over me. That's nothing but the enemy. I told you I'm a Christian. I don't mean come on here quoting scriptures, but no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So the words, anything like that in that nature, I know for a fact doesn't prosper against me because I have God on my side. And I thank him for that every single day. I thank him for that every single day. Being where I am now, I just thank him. Like, I knew I wanted peace. I kept on saying to God, I need peace in my life. Bring me peace, God. I need peace. Something's wrong. I need peace. I didn't know the steps was to remove those people for me to get that peace. But sometimes that's how it is. God cannot bless you if you're in the midst of dirt. He cannot. And I realized that because it's like I got to a point in my life when it's like, God, I'm trying to live right. I'm doing right. What's happening? Ain't nothing working out. Ain't nothing going as planned. And I had to realize something. God cannot bless you around in a terrible environment. He cannot. You have to uproot yourself and get around the right people, get around the right environment. And once I did that, ooh, I tell you, like, I don't even want to come on here and cry, y'all, but I just know the God that I serve is so amazing. He's so amazing. I kept on manifesting that and telling myself, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know where the finances is going to come. I don't know how I'm going to do any of this. I was really at that place. I really questioned. I said, God, I just got out of school. I have bills. Y'all, I did not want to come on here and cry. I hate crying. But I really questioned God, how? It's like, God, you telling me to do something. I hear you clearly. You telling me to uproot. You telling me to uproot. You telling me to move. You telling me to get out of here, get out of this space, free myself. But how, God? It's not looking that way. I'm trying to get a raise at my job. I'm trying to do this, God. I'm trying to do that, but it's not working out. And then I just heard God just say, just go. Just go. He really told me, just go. And I was scared. When I tell y'all I moved out my house, December 23rd was the day that I signed, like my lease was signed, I moved in. Before that, y'all, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know where I was going to go. And I didn't know where I was gonna live. Rent is crazy. I'm like, God, how can I just go? There's certain, like, I want to have, because I told myself I wanted a certain amount of money, like I want X amount of money. But God told me, no, just go. And I was scared. And I mentioned in the other video, the way I left my family was very disrespectful. I tried to leave on peaceful terms, but it didn't work out that way. So that really made me scared. I was like, dang, I'm alone. What am I gonna do? But I just kept on praying and believing and just trying to stay close to him and stay close to his word. Continue to meditate, continue to go to therapy, and still keep on believing. And the fact, all the blessings that I have reaped since I have left, like, I have the peace that I manifested. I have the home that I wanted. Everything that I manifested is working out. So I just say this to say, y'all, whatever God is telling you to do, jump out on faith and really believe him and serve him. For real. I don't care what it is. Whatever you hear God or something in the inside of you telling you, just do this, just do that. Jump out on faith. That's what I did. And I'm still moving out on faith. Because there's moments when I'm like, God, I feel alone. I don't have my family. I don't have those people. And I just still hear God tell me, keep on going. Keep on going. He even told me the other day, I felt it in my spirit. And he told me I'm in the waiting room for my blessings. In the waiting room. And when I heard God tell me that, I said, oh God, I thank you. I said, oh God, I thank you. Because I've been scared, feeling like I'm by myself and I'm alone. But like I said, y'all, I say all this to say that God is real. And form that relationship with God. And God is so amazing. Like, I'm telling y'all my story and where I've been from and being where I am now, that's nothing but God. It's nothing but God, y'all. It's nothing but God, I'm telling you. But I hope my story or my testimony reaches the right people. And I pray it motivates whoever that watches to start manifesting the life that you want. It's possible. I feel like if my life is living proof, when I tell you it's living proof, to be living on my own for 3 months and being where I am now, it's living proof that you can manifest the life that you want. You can manifest it and picture it, live it out, daydream about it, think about it, whatever you are professing to God, manifest it, dream about it, journal it, keep on. Even when it don't look like it's working out that way, keep on saying it. And I'm telling you, it's going to work out. But y'all, I'm going to get off of here. Because I did not mean to come on here and cry, y'all. That really blew minds, y'all. That really blew minds, y'all. I really came on here today and was like, oh, I'm gonna come on here real quick, tell everybody how you manifest. And I'm like, I might get into my story a little bit. I didn't know it was gonna go like that, y'all. But I hope this video touches the right people. Yeah, guys, and make sure, I'm gonna start saying this more at the end of my videos, but make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and also turn on my bell notifications so you can see whenever I post. I normally post once a week. I'm not gonna say the specific days no more because it's been a little sporadic, but yeah, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye.